Hello Internet. We need to talk about Saltburn. I have been so excited for this movie. I love Emerald Fennell. I loved her since she was a showrunner on Killing Eve. And I absolutely adored Promising Young Women. It was structurally tight. As a screenplay, you could actually look at it as an example of good screenwriting. The protagonist is changed from the beginning to the end. We can follow her, we feel for her, we understand her. It made me feel, it made me think, and I went into Saltburn expecting the same thing. A good film should make you feel for its protagonist. A good film will give you reason to feel for the protagonist. A good film will make you feel for the protagonist, no matter how fucked up they are or what kind of fucked up shit they do. We know that Emerald Fennell is capable of doing this from Promising Young Women. I look at Saltburn and I just can't believe that the same person wrote it. Tonally, thematically, this film was just all over the place. First act, second act, you know what? I can get behind this. So far, I still understand what is happening. So far, I can still believe in Ollie's intentions. For me, I could understand and follow Ollie's behavior all the way until the rushed last act. Which in my opinion is right after the great fucking scene, which I'll talk about later, because of course we should. It was so haphazardly done. It came out of nowhere, and up to this point, I had believed this was a love story. This is a twisted love story about the kind of love that just consumes you. And then suddenly now it's eat the rich. I thought it was fuck the rich, because you spent the first two acts showing the protagonist making sexual advances to every member of the family. So I gotta say this about Saltburn, so I'm just jumping in and saying it on a different day and dressed differently, whatever. So people who are like scandalized by the great fucking scene, have y'all not heard of a little film called Clockwork Orange? Because if you want to talk about scandalous and revolting at the same time, I highly recommend that film. It taught me a lot and it was well composed. Also, do you know how horny people get at cemeteries? Something about death just turns people on. This is not that bad. I love the shot of him lingering at Felix's grave. I love the shot of him grave fucking. It was a very well composed shot, and I thought the performance was phenomenal on the part of Barry Keoghan. Up to this point, I still feel for our protagonist. This was how I saw it. Everything he did in the name for love. He loved Felix. It was an obsessive kind of love. It was the sort of love that you want to just consume everything about them, even in death. We knew Ollie is capable of such behavior. He drank Felix's bathwater, for crying out loud. Like, the point about consumption, it comes back. Relatable than falling for someone just because they have a pretty face. To love someone just because they're beautiful and nothing else. Because think about it. Who is Felix, or what is Felix, other than just being a rich pretty boy that everybody loves because he's a rich pretty boy? He really doesn't have much of a character other than that. Then he just dies. And then we don't see him again, and suddenly this main relationship that the film has been building up and, making us like feel invested in is suddenly gone, and then and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just, frankly, given that that is the main relationship of the film, I wish we saw it to the end. I wish Felix was the last to die, and die knowing that Ollie was the one that had murdered his whole family. I want Felix to learn exactly how obsessive Ollie's love is for him, and then Ollie kills him. Because that's love. That would have been the preferred ending. For me, anyway. I didn't like Rosamund Pike's character, but I don't think she was intended to be likable, because it would make more sense that she isn't. You care less about her eventual demise and feel more for the protagonist as a result. Which in this case, the protagonist could use whatever he can get.